2014 on andrewhogue.com. And we do have Jake from August Burns Red with us right now, of course, on Soundwave. And as always, generic question out the way first. How's your Soundwave experience? Any stories?
Yeah, it's we've had a great time. We play at noon every day, and every time we show up on stage, it's a packed house, and there's a lot of bands on this tour that we're friends with. Let Live, there's just so many bands out here, and it's kind of like a family reunion in a sense. So it's really nice. We go out there, we share our hearts on stage with the fans, and then we come back here and hang out with our friends.
Now, when you talk about sharing your hearts on the stage, obviously lyrically as well, with the band's Christian sort of beliefs, do you find that it is crossing over to a lot of audiences that are more into the music but not so much about the message, or is it the message generally the main thing that your band's trying to portray in a live sense?
I think the message is important, but I think that what we're trying to do is not really talk about our Christian faith on the stage, but rather try to act it out, and we do that through our lyrics, encouraging lyrics, positive lyrics, and I think the listeners, whether they're Christians or not, they take away something good from our music, and that's what we have to offer them as Christians. That's what we have to give to them and serve to them.
I mean, a lot of bands I've spoken to, we've talked about the segregation of different genres today in heavy music and everything being labelled. How do you find having the, as some would say, Christian tag added to the band's music when obviously the music is a first and foremost important thing? Do you find that the band doesn't get the recognition it needs because when certain people see the Christian tag and just go, because the heavy metal community can be quite fickle when it comes to the religious aspect of life.
I think that the metal community has a lot of reasons to be that way. To be honest with you, I don't think when you see, Christianity, you probably see a big church with, a quote-unquote pastor who's overweight and probably gluttonous and wants you to tithe money to his church. That's, if that's the way you perceive it, that, and then obviously when you see me come around and I'm in a Christian metal band, you're probably going to be like, wow, I don't really want that in my life. But unfortunately, maybe the Christian culture hasn't been as accepting to metal, or the people in that industry, and loving them rather than judging them. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a lot of judgment towards metal, and some Christians even judge me. They go, well, how can you, that sounds like Satan, like you scream, so it sounds like demons or whatever. And how can you call yourself a Christian when you're in such a heavy, dark metal sound? And, for those types of people, I like to say, well, it's kind of sad that you're putting God in a box, and that I feel God created everything. If I believe in him, I believe that he did. And he can use everything, And so for those Christians, they need to be a little more open. And then for the metal guys, like, hey, look, we're not here to, tell you what you need to believe. I think that's a very personal and private decision. I myself didn't like it when people told me what to do or what to believe in. I had to find God my own way. But, our music, is the same. It's emotion, it's power, it's heartfelt, it's dedication, and the power of music, whether it's Christian quote unquote or not, can change lives and can bring a lot of good things in the people's worlds. So
do you? So you endorse the Christian tag? Because again, like I said, there's lots of bands who sing about positivity, like Hatebreed as a perfect example. You could read those lyrics in a very preachy sense, because Jamie puts his heart out on his sleeve with everything he says, and it's all about staying true and believing in yourself, and that in itself is enough power to empower any person if they want to read the lyrics, if they're in a certain place. But with certain bands who either endorse the Christian tag or get the Christian tag, do you find it's a bit of a hindrance for certain people that are a bit skeptical when they realise if you put both bands together and didn't mention the belief side of it, they'll just go, man, this stuff is awesome.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, it's for me to do what I'm doing and not judge others. And I can't help it that if I'm a follower of Christ and you want to judge me, then that's on you, dude, And yeah, maybe it's hindered us in certain areas, but hindered. That's it. You know, like it hasn't stopped me. I'm not gonna let, you know. I mean, I've had kids come up to me and do like a little, you know, Satan. Yeah, right. Yeah, they've done that to me, and they've, you know, cursed at me and called me names and stuff. I don't care. Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. If you think that that's gonna, you know, break this, that's a joke, you know. And
so you're totally cool, and the rest of the band is cool with the Christian tag,
cool,
because
whatever.
sometimes the media can do it, the labels can do it, and sometimes the bands don't have a say, because once that's out there, in cyberworld especially, fans, media, everyone runs with it, and sometimes it can completely ruin a band's career when they had no, you know, one of the members might have said in an interview, actually, I believe in this or that, and then people take it out of context. All of a sudden, I don't like you guys, you're Christian or you're Satanist or whatever, and sometimes the bands don't have any control once that goes out there. So when the band sort of started, you know, did you sort of mention to the labels, look, we don't really want to be thrown into the Christian category, or it was just whatever, we just do our thing?
I think our faith is important to us, especially to me. And so maybe when we were young, we were like, yeah, we're Christians, and so we're a Christian metalcore band. As I've grown, I've realized that it doesn't matter what you tag your music as. It matters who you are as a person. So I can call myself a Christian all day long. You're not going to know if I'm a Christian or not. You're not going to know. You know, God's going to know, though. You know what I mean? Like, behind the door is what matters. You know, the secrets in my heart is what makes me what I am or what I'm not. Not my tag on metal music, not the tattoos that I have on my skin. It's the choices I make. It's the devotion of my heart to God that I have, and it's the commitment, and it's the pursuit of God's heart that makes me a Christian. So outside of any of that, the rest is just a wash, in my opinion. I've seen plenty of Christian bands lose their faith and walk away. I've seen plenty of Christian bands, you know, do things that are unchristian-like. I can't judge them. That's not my place. It's God's place. So all I can do is go, hey, I'm going to play the music that I desire. I'm going to live my life for God. I'm still going to make mistakes and mess up, because I'm human, but that's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep writing this out and keep pursuing God, and that's all he asks of me. So if you like Christians, cool. If you don't, that's fine. You know what I mean? Really, that stuff is small talk, and if you love music, you should love it, you know? I listen to music that's not Christian. Doesn't make me a non-Christian. Why are we getting so legalistic, you know? Let's have the heart and love for music, and let's enjoy it.
So what's the rest of the band's like attitude towards, you know, the approach to Christianity? Are you guys all on the same page, or a couple of the other members are just like, whatever, man, you know, you can go full throttle?
Believe it or not, I'm probably the most outspoken Christian in our band. But they don't care, man. You know what I mean? Like we're just so, everybody's got their walk and their faith, you know, and I'm not, and I think when we get into the reality of what I'm talking about, there's very many different levels of that, you know what I mean? So people can be at different places and stages in their lives, and you may not condone what somebody's doing, or maybe you don't think that that's right or whatever. Again, you can't judge that. And so, you know, with us as a band, it's like, yeah, this is a very personal thing to some of the members, so they may not want to talk about it at the mountaintop. They might not want to get on this microphone and talk about Jesus. And then some of us, like myself, I have no problem, you know, talking about Jesus or my faith or whatever, you know?
Yeah. What are some of the non-sort of Christian metal bands you guys check out or have even played with? Do you have any problem touring with other bands like that?
We just hung out with Suicide Silence last night. You know what I mean? Like, and they made fun of me and joked around about my faith, and, you know, but it's taken lightly because, you know, you can't offend me, like, with something like that, you know? And they're our friends. So that's one example. It's like, dude, we've toured with those guys. You know, when Mitch passed away, I prayed for him. I did. I shed a tear and I prayed for him, you know. And those guys are all, we respect all of those dudes, you know. And, you know, it's, again, it's just, if you put yourself in a box, you really start to limit yourself as to what you do and what God can do through you if you choose to believe in him and walk with him, you know.
The hardest thing with the box is that others try and put you in that, even though when you know you're not in the box, you're instantly labeled, especially today. It's almost like the human mind needs to box everything in order to know where it fits, because having just an expansion seems to be more limited now because we need to know what things are in order to know where it stands before we can tick the
look
box
at the
and keep
genres.
moving.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Post-metalcore,
I'm hating it.
pre-metalcore. Like what are we talking about? Like emo core grind. Like I don't like.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Yeah, come on, man. Just stop it.
I tell people it's all heavy music, whatever. That's what we do here on the station anyway. Well, let's talk quickly about the last studio record, Rescue and Restore. Now, obviously it was a massive success and you're still riding on the record now. It came out last year. So early days yet for a new record? Because I know you guys tour quite heavily on every release. And are we looking at another Christmas album too? We'll get to that.
Hitting, I think it was number 9 on the top 10 Billboard for this record in the States blew my mind. Just absolutely unreal that we could even do that, And we didn't do that. It was our fans who did it. But, ever since that, we've felt really, really appreciative for our fans, And then coming out to Soundwave and, it's been a little while since we've been here, a little bit. So it's good to, touch base with our fans here. But the record's great, man. And I spent over 100 hours in the studio just on producing vocals, And usually you spend about 7 days and that's it, So I definitely devoted a lot of time into this album, and to see it go where it's gone has been fantastic. And of course we're gonna tour heavily. It's just the nature of the beast for us. We've never toured lightly. Granted, we just started last year, but next 2015 is gonna be a heavy hitter for us.
As far as a new record, or are you gonna keep
touring? Well, there's a lot of stuff.
Because I noticed bands' cycles of touring sort of ends a lot quickly today, and then they're in a studio with another album. Like, it's almost like the longevity of pushing a record for 2-3 years is done. Bands do an album, 8 months tour, and then back to another album.
Well, you got to understand
people's attention
exactly.
spans.
You got to understand
people
are hungry, and there's only so many times that they'll spin that record before they're just like, I want more. This is good. I love it. I want more. And but that's a good problem to have, and I'm blessed to have that problem. Because, our fans are just awesome. They just freaking love our music, and it inspires us to keep going.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Jake. We can get you to choose one of your favorite tracks from the latest record.
Yeah.
Choice is yours.
I would say the song that I can, that whenever we play live, I can look in the crowd, and I usually find at least one person who tears up a little bit. It's the lyrics are about losing a family member or a close friend and taking their values and morals and instilling them into your heart and kind of like living that person's life alongside yours. You know what I mean? And so that song's called Beauty and Tragedy.
Awesome. Let's check it out now here on Soundwave Radio on andrewhogue.com. Thanks, Jake.
Sweet.